Hey, this is Kushyar. I've worked as an entrepreneur and data scientist in Silicon Valley for the last 7 years, and I also have 6 peer-reviewed research papers in public key cryptography and complexity theory. Today, I'm going to talk about one of the most asked questions about cryptocurrencies. And the question is, okay, we get the Bitcoins and we understand the value of Bitcoins, but why do we have so many other coins? Why do we need all these cryptocurrencies, or these are all just gimmicks? And the other very common question that I get is, okay, we like the concept. Now, how should we invest our money? What coins should we buy? Where should we invest to get the max return? The thing is, once you understand why we have so many coins and what are the categories of the coins and what is the philosophy behind each coin, that gives you a huge edge to understand which coin has a better potential for the future and makes your investment easier. So, in order to answer the question of why we have so many coins, let's talk about Bitcoin very quickly. Let's go back in history and talk about what Bitcoin is. So the Bitcoin, to me, if I have to describe Bitcoin in one sentence, Bitcoin is the first peer-to-peer, open source, trustless application for money. So it's the application that you can send and receive money anywhere around the world without having a bank, without having a central authority. The point is, this concept of decentralized, trustless, open source application is a big idea, and every time in history when somebody comes up with a big idea, a lot of other people, a lot of entrepreneurs, designers, engineers, mathematicians, they come into the space and they think with themselves, how can we improve this? How can we make this better? How can we apply the same technology to the other industries? And some people just say, like, how can we just make some money out of this? So in this video, I'm going to classify all the intentions of the people who came to cryptocurrency market into 5 categories. And these are basically the 5 categories of coins that we have today. The first angle that people came into this market was the angle of performance and scalability. This group of people said, we love the idea of Bitcoin, but Bitcoin sucks in terms of performance and scalability. When we look at performance and scalability of cryptocurrency, we look at 5 measures. That's the 5 measures I'm looking at. Transaction per second, TPS, or how many transactions we can have over the network in 1 second. What's the bandwidth? What's the bandwidth that we take from each account? What's the latency? How much time do we need to send one Bitcoin from a node to another? What's the transaction cost? That's obvious. And how much computational and environmental waste this network takes. These 5 factors, Bitcoin suck at all 5 at this point in 2018. The thing is, the number of transactions per second is less than 10, which is super low. It takes a lot of bandwidth. The latency is huge, is between 10 minutes all the way to 1 hour. The transaction cost is a lot. You have to pay between $10 all the way to $30 for sending any amount of Bitcoin. And it comes with a huge computational and environmental waste. So the first group of people said, how can we change the blockchain? How can we change the core technology in order to achieve better performance and scalability? I don't want to get into the details of how they do it in this video. I'm going to talk about this in detail in coming videos. But the main competitors in this market, I would say, are IOTA and probably Raiblocks, which is a newer coin, and maybe Ethereum and Cardano. So the way IOTA improves performance is by introducing a new computer science data structure form, which is called Tangle. And Raiblocks using almost the same techniques. I'm not even sure about this yet. And Ethereum and Cardano, they have proof of stake, which is better in terms of computation and environmental waste, but still the transaction per second is pretty low. So that's the first category of cryptocurrencies. So the second angle is dApp or utility tokens. dApp stands for decentralized app. This group of people, they said, okay, now Bitcoin is a decentralized app for money. Can we have decentralized app for all the other applications and for all the other industries? And they came up with so many different tokens for every application that you can think of. I have a bunch of apps that, these are my favorites. BAT. BAT is basically basic attention token. They said, okay, let's go for publishing and advertising industry and have a coin that manages the advertising industry. And that's a coin that basically you do all the transactions between advertiser, between publishers, and between the users, between consumers. And I'm going to talk about this coin in a separate video. So that was one application. XMR or Monero. Monero is a basically privacy token. It's a token that nobody can track your steps through. So a STEEMIT is a coin that you can use for voting on social media. So basically, instead of liking somebody's video, you can pay her 1 cent. That incentivizes people to publish good contents, and 1 cent is not that much for a user. So that's another type of token. Another token that I kind of like is POWR Ledger. POWR Ledger is a token that people use to sell energy between different solar panels. So that's the idea. Another coin that I really like is BNB. So BNB is a utility token that Binance Exchange introduced. So you can buy other tokens using BNB, and the reason people do that instead of using Bitcoin or Ethereum is when you use BNB, you don't pay exchange fee, and that actually helps the Binance company to pump up the price of BNB, which is at the end good for the company. So that's the way of them monetizing their exchange without the users paying for exchange rate. So another utility token that I find interesting is Saya coin or SC. So this coin is very close to what AWS or Amazon Web Services do. It's a coin for selling computation and storage over internet. So these are all utility tokens. They each address a specific market, and they have a very customized protocol that serves that particular market well. You might ask, okay, why don't we just use Bitcoin or Ethereum for all these applications? The reason is each of these coins have a specific customization of protocols and economy that serves that specific market better. So let's get to the third angle, which I call platforms tokens. Platform tokens or platforms, they said, let's think bigger. Let's take a look at this group, utility tokens, and think bigger. If these many people, they're every day creating different coins for different industry, we need a platform that people can easily build these coins on top of. So the example of these platforms are Ethereum, Cardano, or maybe Next. So this group of coins or platforms, they said, we're giving you programming languages, we're giving you network, and you can build your own dApp, decentralized application on top of them. This is my favorite group of coins because the value of the coin grows as more people come in and build more dApps on top of them. For example, Ethereum, in my opinion, is going to be the most valuable coin because there is more development activity on top of the network. So that's the third group of coins. So the fourth angle, I call them copycats or marketing or gimmick categories. They're the coins that are growing like a weed. Every day you can hear about 10 different coins in this category. They're only marketing and gimmick coins. They have no technical advantage or technical innovation, and they're doing the same thing as Bitcoin or Ethereum does, but they have just different marketing messages. And they attract a lot of people and sometimes the price goes up, but I don't see any long-term value with this coins. So one of the most popular one is pot coin. So basically a coin that you can buy pot with, but the question is why can't you use any other coins? The answer is there is no reason. This is just a coin like any other coin. It has no advantage. Or there's a Trump coin, I think. So whatever name you think, there's a coin, and these are just marketing gimmicks. So let's go to the fifth and last angle. I think this is a very controversial angle. I call them legacy system. So the legacy system, basically, this is the idea. They say, okay, Bitcoin is growing and cryptocurrency is growing very fast, but we still have the old world. We still have the banks, we still have dollar, we still want to buy a home using escrow system. We need all this old legacy system mechanism to connect to the new world. So we need to have a blockchain that goes with the regulation and follows all the regulation. And these are, I call them legacy system coins. These are just all the names I came up with. The biggest coin in this category is XRP or Ripple, and another one is XLM or Stellar. Yeah, it's XLM. So this is the category that I have problem with. And I think the problem is this legacy system, they have to follow the regulation and they start by some level of centralization at the beginning. For example, in terms of XRP, there are some banks that they can just override the network. And as we have seen with Bitcoin, even when we want to go with full pure decentralization, we end up with a lot of centralization, like what's happening with all the miners in China. When we start giving big authority to a group of banks, this is never going to be a decentralized network, as probably it already isn't. It's not decentralized, it's not trustless, definitely. So I'm very skeptical about this group of coin and I just think these are just big banks that they use the name blockchain. So this is a highly controversial group of coins. And as Benjamin Franklin said, those who sacrifice liberty for security deserve neither. I would say those who sacrifice decentralization for regulation and authority deserve neither. And I think these coins, they're never going to get to truly follow regulations, and they're never going to be a decentralized network. And my problem with these categories of coin is not just some ideological problem. I think their business model is flawed because the banks are never incentivized to go under this network. They just better be whatever they are now. Why should they pay these guys? Why should they use their currency to do the same thing that they're doing today? So these are the 5 categories of coin, and I hope at this point we know why we have so many coins, maybe a few thousand coins. Most of them are in this copycat models, and then we have a lot of dApps. So at the end, I'm going to talk about a little bit about what coins in these 5 categories and which category I'm more interested to invest. Again, I repeat, I'm not a financial advisor. I'm not giving you financial advice. You have to make your own decision. These are just the things that I like to invest in. I personally think the most valuable category is the platform categories, the coins like Ethereum, ADA, Cardano. I used to invest in Next, but I just sold it because I just don't see their vision anymore. So this is the category that I'm interested in the most as far as investment, because I think all the other coins are going to start building things on top of these categories. And once you have this many developers working for you, it's very hard to move these coins around. Another category that I'm very interested in is the performance and scalability coins. So basically, IOTA at this point, they are claiming that they can transfer any amount of money for almost free and with almost no delay. if they can prove their security and if they show this networks, if the network works with all these conditions, they can replace Bitcoin or even some part of Ethereum and Cardano. So, and the Raiblocks is kind of doing the same thing. They have the same mission, but they're using a different data structure. So these two coins I'm also very interested, because I think they have a great mission, which is just basically doing whatever the Bitcoin does, just faster with lower transaction costs, lower computation waste, and lower bandwidth usage. dApps are also very interesting to me, but there's so many dApps. Maybe there are thousands of dApps, and there are a lot of garbage dApps, but there are a bunch that are actually doing something great. They have a good team. They're building actually platform, not this type of platform for some other industries. For example, BAT is building platform for publishing and advertising. BNB is building this platform for exchange and finance. STEEMIT doing the same thing for link sharing, and Siacoin is building a platform for basically exchanging computation and storage. I think these categories, if they have a long-term vision, if they have a decent technology and good team, they're very valuable to invest to. The fourth category, the copycats, I don't think there's any long-term value with any of these coins. It's just like a form of gambling to me, and I sometimes do it, and it's fun. And you put your money, you make some money, you get out. It's just fun. It's like going to Vegas, but I don't see any long-term investment opportunity. And the fifth category, I never touch it because I don't believe it. Even if I know it goes up, I'm going to avoid it because I think at the end, this category is not going to be here in 5 to 10 years. If you like the video, please subscribe to my channel, and also if you want me to research more coins for you, please comment. And also if you have any issue or any question about anything that I said, I'll be happy to answer to your comments. Also, I'm Kooshiar, Kooshiar, on Twitter, Facebook, or anywhere else. I'll be happy to connect with everybody in this space. And I also created a group, a Facebook group called Decentralized Bay, which is for connecting crypto people in Bay Area, Silicon Valley, for conferences, for hackathons. So if you're in Bay Area or anywhere in the world, please join us here and we can have discussions about crypto every day. Thank you for watching.